Imagine being able to hold your breath for more than 5 minutes, dive dozens of meters deep without modern equipment, and still manage to hunt, fish, and survive using nothing but your own lungs. In the turquoise waters of Southeast Asia lives a people many call the sea nomads. They have no fixed borders, their homes float on the water, and their lives depend entirely on what the ocean provides. This is the fascinating daily life of the bajau, known as the people who live underwater. The bajau are maritime communities found mainly in the waters of the Philippines, Malaysia, and Indonesia. Unlike most people, they don't settle in large villages on land. Instead, their homes are built on stilts or even on boats that serve both as shelter and transportation. For centuries, they've learned to live almost entirely integrated with the ocean. Fishing is the foundation of their survival. Using techniques passed down through generations, they dive without oxygen tanks, relying only on the strength of their lungs to catch fish, octopus, and other sea creatures. Their ability is so extraordinary that researchers have discovered something remarkable. Over time, the bajau's bodies have adapted. Their spleens, responsible for releasing oxygen during dives, are larger than those of most other populations. This adaptation allows them to stay underwater much longer without breathing, something unimaginable for most people. The bajau don't just dive, they literally live on the sea. Their wooden houses, built with simple yet durable techniques, are raised on stilts driven into reefs or shallow sandbanks. The wooden posts are carefully selected to withstand the constant movement of the tides, and even as the structures sway with the wind and waves, they remain firmly standing. Some families choose to live on traditional boats called lepa-lepa. These long, narrow vessels are designed to glide easily across calm waters. But a lepa-lepa isn't just transportation. It's a home, a bedroom, and a floating kitchen. Inside, there's space for hammocks to sleep in, basic utensils, and even small clay containers where fires are lit to cook freshly caught fish. Their communities don't form in isolation. Houses and boats cluster together into small villages on the water, connected by improvised wooden walkways where children run barefoot and leap straight into the crystal-clear sea. From above, it looks like a floating city, with streets made of plank bridges and backyards that are, in reality, the open ocean. But this life isn't just freedom. Living on the ocean means facing storms, unpredictable tides, and the lack of resources from the land. For drinking water, many depend on collecting rain or trading with coastal villages. Essentials they can't produce themselves, like rice or fabric, are obtained through selling the fish they catch. But that raises a question. How do they manage to hunt at depths where the pressure would be unbearable for an ordinary person? Bajau children grow up learning to swim before they can even walk. It's common to see them, playing in deep waters without floats or any kind of protection. They also start diving at a very young age, first in shallow waters, then gradually moving to greater depths. Their eyes, trained to withstand salt water, develop the ability to see more clearly underwater, sharpened through daily dives. Over time, their bodies adapt to pressure, their ears adjust, and their lungs gain remarkable endurance. By the time they reach adolescence, they're capable of diving for several minutes at a time, reaching depths of 60 or even 70 meters without any breathing equipment. That's when they hunt, spearing fish, octopus, and even sea cucumbers, which provide food for their families and can be sold in coastal markets. The dive is done in complete silence. Every movement is controlled to avoid scaring off prey, and they remain motionless until the exact moment to strike with their wooden spears. Their precision is astonishing, swift and accurate, often capturing enough food with a single strike to feed a family for days. Generations of living this way have shaped the bajau in extraordinary ways. One of the most remarkable adaptations lies in a hidden but vital organ, the spleen. In the bajau, it's significantly larger than in most people. The spleen acts as a natural reservoir for extra red blood cells. When oxygen runs low during a dive, it releases a surge of these cells into the bloodstream, boosting the body's oxygen-carrying capacity and allowing them to stay submerged longer. It's like having a secret backup supply of breath built into their biology. Thanks to this adaptation, many bajau can hold their breath underwater for 5 to 6 minutes, and the most experienced divers have been recorded pushing close to 13 minutes in extreme apnea, an achievement nearly impossible for anyone not trained from early childhood. Daily training also strengthens their rib cages and respiratory muscles, enabling them to withstand the crushing pressure of deep waters without injury. Even their vision adapts. Studies show Bajau children see underwater with far more clarity than most other populations, a result of years spent opening their eyes to the sea from the time they were small. For the bajau, these adaptations turn the ocean into their true backyard. Where most see danger, they see home, an environment they've mastered with confidence and grace. Life on the water also requires strict organization, and the daily rhythm of these floating villages follows the tides. The day begins early, men sharpen their spears and head out to dive while women care for the children, gather shellfish closer to shore, and manage the household. When the tide is low, women walk across the reefs collecting shellfish and sea urchins, filling hand-woven baskets. As the tide rises, the men set out in their boats to dive for larger fish. When the catch is plentiful, food is shared among all. When it's scarce, solidarity keeps the community strong. Meals are simple but nourishing. Freshly caught fish is cooked over small clay stoves with open fires, providing enough energy for the next underwater hunt. But living at sea is not only about skill, it's also about resilience. Tropical storms are a constant threat. Towering waves can destroy homes in minutes. In those moments, entire families are forced to seek shelter on land until the waters calm down. Another challenge is securing fresh water. Surrounded by the ocean, survival depends on collecting rainwater in makeshift containers. When that's not enough, the bajau sail to coastal villages to trade fish for rice, vegetables, or drinking water. Even with these hardships, life at sea is never abandoned. It's a way of living and passed down through generations, a bond between people and ocean that remains unbroken. For the Badjao, the sea is not just a place of survival, it is part of their very identity. They call themselves the people of the sea because everything they have, from food to rituals, comes from the water. The ocean is seen as both a provider and a living being that must be respected. No fish is wasted, no dive is made carelessly. They know their lives depend on balance with nature, which is why they maintain ancestral care for the reefs and fishing grounds. For the Bajau, diving is not only about hunting, it is a spiritual act. They believe the sea holds spirits, and showing respect to these unseen beings ensures safety in the waters. Before major fishing trips, many make simple offerings, leaves, rice, or small objects cast into the waves as a gesture of gratitude. This worldview shapes the community's behavior. No overfishing, no destruction of the reef, no waste of what has been earned. Harmony with the sea is taught as the foundation of life itself. Badjao traditions are passed down through observation rather than written texts or formal schools. Children learn to build boats by watching their parents and grandparents. They learn to dive by following older siblings. They understand ocean currents by paying attention to the most experienced divers. What seems impossible to outsiders becomes second nature for those raised in this way. Music is also part of their heritage. Simple instruments made of wood and strings accompany songs about the sea, journeys, and ancestors. These melodies drift through the floating houses at night, blending with the sound of the waves. Even weddings carry unique traditions. Often ceremonies take place on specially prepared boats decorated with colorful fabrics. The couple sails between the community's homes, receiving blessings that symbolize prosperity and abundance of fish. Despite their deep connection to the ocean, modern pressures are reshaping the Bajau way of life. In countries like Malaysia, Indonesia, and the Philippines, the requirement for official documents, such as birth certificates and IDs, creates obstacles for many Bajau, since countless individuals were never formally registered. The push for legal documentation, formal schooling, and land-based jobs places younger generations in a difficult position. Some leave their floating homes to study in coastal villages, returning only on special occasions. Others turn to tourism, working as guides for divers or selling handicrafts. Still, the essence of their culture endures. Those who remain at sea continue to pass down ancient knowledge, keeping alive the unique ability to make the ocean their home. Yet another challenge comes from the ocean itself. Industrial fishing and coral reef destruction have drastically reduced fish populations. What was once an abundant catch now demands increasingly longer and riskier dives. Climate change also threatens their floating homes. Rising sea levels and stronger storms often force communities to relocate or rebuild several times a year. In the face of all these obstacles, the Badjao continue to display remarkable resilience. Some communities now teach diving to tourists eager to experience their lifestyle, turning tradition into income. Others have established marine conservation zones to protect reefs and ensure that fish populations can recover, blending ancient wisdom with modern solutions for survival. Still, even with outside pressures, the families who remain at sea hold on to their essence. At the end of the day, when the sun sets on the horizon and paints the ocean in golden tones, the stilt houses echo with the laughter of children swimming, the sound of nets being pulled in, and voices singing old stories. At night, the soft glow of lanterns lights up the floating village, reflecting on the water like stars resting on the waves. It's a scene that blends skill, adaptation, and love for community life, where every house, every boat, and every stilt is more than just wood over the water. It's proof of the ingenuity of a people who made the ocean their solid ground. And what about you? Could you live in a place where your home never touches the earth and every meal depends on a dive into the ocean? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Share this video with someone who would love to discover this amazing story. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to explore other fascinating ways of life like this one.